and regulation. So if you break it, there's a factory, a friend work. He's the one that gave induction that money. So they were trying to produce a lot of products in the factory here in Nigeria. So something now stopped the production line. So the guy looked at it. If I go, if I come back 1 hour will elapse and we will not meet our target. He looked, he now saw where it is. It's where they have this ruler machine that comes. He saw where the problem is. So he said, do this thing sharp, sharp. That sharp, sharp. He said, if you do, the machine started immediately. All of these fingers were dancing with a lot of blood. So after a while, through emotion and the rest, they stopped work. The guy was trained, the guy was taken to the hospital, they took care of it. After a while, the company abandoned the guy. So they took it to court, took them to court. At the end of the day, the guy had no case because he took induction in the morning. And all of them decided he made a mistake. So the mistake he made was for them to have set to outside the court. Do you understand? Because he became people for life. Because you don't go into a building and become a criminal. You understand? So those are things you need to take care of. Then in the multinational, I'm talking about safety. When you go to an oil company, they if rain start, they stop work. Some people still work. Do you know the voltage that in your home, the voltage you have in your TV, your microwave, and what is the voltage? Do you know the voltage for your normal home appliances? 200, not really 200, 220. It don't have 10 or 5% and less or 5% more. You understand? But a thunder, if a lightning strike, you know the voltage it produces. It produces over 1 million volts within 1 second. So if you are trapped in an open place, what do? You don't walk opening your leg, you can be killed. Because there are two potential difference that is created. One point is positive, one point is negative, and you don't know. So when you are in an environment where thunderstorm is raging, what do? Close your two legs, go down and cover your ear because the sound of the thunderstorm can definitely your ear. You'll be surprised. Somebody will be close to you, calling you, you cannot listen until somebody is your ear. Don't tap you before you hear. Those are hazards that you will see on the side. So you need to be careful as an effort. Correct your people and your team working on site, you must ensure that they follow the known process. So at the stage of building, from here now, they started from foundation, right? In that foundation, there are companies that will be brought in. Then when foundation is brought in, then they start raising all the civil work and the rest. After the civil work, office will be created. Then the next stage, you will need power. But not to make power for the entire building. You will need to drill. You will need to all some places that look down within the building, you will need a generator for it. And that generator set you need to run cables up. You understand? You need to run cable up, then you need to structure the master point. The master point is a key thing. If anything happens here, where do your team? Because if master point is one, if anything happens in your building and the person is not guiding your building, it becomes an issue. So you need to take muster point. Muster point is a place where people gather. In a place emergency point. There's something I corrected in a luxurious apartment. They have limited space, and so they might have a space issue here. Their muster point is outside the building, and people you have them there. If you can't detect richest people in Nigeria, you will mention some of them. Just imagine there's a fire in that building, they will not come outside it. So I told them it's not good to have it outside. Let them have it inside the building. So you as an FM, you must be able to structure your life to save the life of your team. You understand? So you must plan your strategy. No. When I say I'm talking about the premises. You know, we're having big shops. We having that is one like a crate to break. They use that to people up and bring people down. It also aid moving not large quantity of maybe cement or something. Because you just imagine somebody carries cement going up, it might fall to that cement, so they create something like this. You understand? It is needed. The standard construction company always have this on their side. Then one other thing you also do, you plan your equipment, your tools, your materials for the construction you must plan. Then you must get a security personnel to be mounting these things. Because these things you are saying cannot very well. Just imagine somebody has spent close to $100,000 to buy most of these things. Then when you come at the point of using, you say that half of those materials are somebody has taken it. So secure your environment. Even your diesel, as long as people can still steal it. Because diesel and money, this is the shortest way for facility managers that are very crooked in their action to reach. I've seen a facility manager, a friend tell me a story somewhere. The guy has 3 to 4 clean cars. 3 to 4 clean cars. You know, the facility person is that does not know about it, so you just put like even when they are even when they do them and nothing like the money is coming back. So you understand? So when they left, you wanted to put someone that would do the same work with you, but the guy told on the boss how it is. So you now make a lot of profit when the new guy came on board. And the guy, presently the guy is in Canada. He has made a lot of money. So I'm saying that there's no way you can eliminate it, or you can put process in place to circulate it. You understand as an effort. So what are the maintenance plan you will request? That is the essence of this maintenance we are going for. So this one I'm only talking because people have not come. I want your contact. How long will you take that? Just about like 7 minutes drive. I hope you will suspend me. I want you to. Okay. So then the other thing again that could be a test is electrical that could be a threat on site also. People cut. There's one of our sites during the night they experienced this spark and the entire building went. So they called NEPA. NEPA was checking. See, there's no problem. Everybody had light. So they now they have a special equipment to detect where there's problem in the ground. So they use the equipment and said that there's a problem somewhere there. So they didn't go deep. After 1 or 2 days, rain now fell. When the rain was falling, they now pushed all the dirt out. Do you know what came out of that? There's a dead human being that came out of that. You know, armor cable was passed through the gutter. So the guy was walking the last floor. This happened late last year. Do you understand? The thing electric, so it was when rain fell, the man knew he was trying to tamper with that thing. So these are things, what I are trying to build and make a life of them. So people are trying to use you that. So as I mentioned, you must be proactive about your material. So what do you do? You need to start having a record of those things and where it was used. If you have that system in place, you'll be able to give account every day to the use for restoration. You understand? Very much. Then not everything you require power. There's some certain things you just do, like carpentry. You don't need power for it, but they might need lights. So you can run cables straight up, then have a mini TV that you can use to go up. It runs to each of the floor. Then don't forget generator, local power supply, which is cheaper. Which is cheaper. Generator and local power supply. Is a power supply. So people spend fortune. I know of the building we presently see. People every month they are looking for ways to make this money. As an effort, When I say administrative control, if the ACs are not being used, cool them off. If you close by, I am presently doing an energy audit on my side. That energy audit, what does that do? It checkmates energy consumption of the building every day. So what do? My technician, they go to the meter, they take the reading. While we are working Monday to Friday, Saturday and Sunday, they also take something. On a Saturday when we are not on site, we are having higher consumption. Why? Do you understand? It's something to question. What, how can that happen? Somebody can do an illegal wiring in the building that we don't know. Sorry, we gave you a lot of work. Do you understand? Then there's a multiple estates somewhere in Nigeria that were also involved. Sending a bill for the estates for NEPA. Collected, we do vending machine. After we collect all their charges for the month, we are making around 30 million. For NEPA, so knowing that some of the estate did illegal work, we were using like so one of the things you must ask as an FM has been done. How many of us know how to read drawing? Yes. If you are an engineer, you must know how to read drawing. Even as an FM, you must have basic knowledge. What does the drawing tells you? It tells you how the electrical connection has done to each of the buildings. Do you understand? Then what can you use to also control it? You must have a durameter if you are running a multi-talented space. Don't run 1 meter. If you run 1 meter, you will exhaust your energy. Try to know the energy consumption for PCL, for what? For diesel. But for dura consumption, you can get that of the local power supply, then get that of diesel. Do you understand what I'm saying? Meter, right? Yes, meter. Dura. No, it's a dura meter. Once you say dura meter, they will understand. They sell it online, have it on your site, it saves you a lot of stress. So what you now do? We are ready now. Okay. We were told to start from ground floor. So we'll start from here. So Oga have mentioned some certain things. He mentioned safety. I say safety is not a responsibility. Though we might have an agency person. Then we talked about gen. Every site under construction needs power. Power is needed. You might say it is not needed, but when you go to some room where they are working, it is dark. So they need light to do work. Because if light is not provided, they will have issues. Then the other thing I want to talk extensively about is your lift. Lift also matters a lot. The brand also matters a lot. These have been done already. So notice. The best, I told madam when we were talking, the best lift from my experience have been missing. I've been missing, but there's a problem. If you don't have money, don't go for missing. The small, they charge annually and you pay upfront. If you are in an environment where people don't pay service charge regularly, where do you get money to pay? In FM, there's no money. Take note of that. Because if you say you want to start getting money, you will not start taking loan from bank. And taking loan will kill your business fast. So what most FM is doing presently, I'm teaching you, and there are some people can send you later. I've started putting them together on seller. Just that one. So what most companies are doing now, they don't take loan. Friends, family, they put money together in money. At the end of the day, they are competing. That is the effective way to run an effort. Don't take loan. So you understand? So if you don't have loan, how do you pay this loan? That's it. I want about 10. What is that? What is that? Sorry. Little tips for what they need to check for in building and the rest and the rest. So the knowledge is that I have it now. Even now, I will be doing some little audits and inform madam because I told her there's one luxurious apartment we visited. The whole place have been built. All the pipes were covered on the wall and tiles were used to cover it. So the question we ask was, if there's a leakage in the future, what do we do? You have to break the tiles, break the wall to fix a problem of 50 or 100,000. Then you are now buying things of about 500 or 700 to now cover it back. So we now wrote to the people in charge of it, because the man actually has money. He has paid all the vendors. So presently they are at the last stage of the project. They are no longer coming to sites. So we wrote to them, tell them these are things that needs to be corrected before the building will come, because we are the one that will maintain. If we don't maintain, this is the problem that we don't have. 1, 2, 3 years will be okay, but after 3 years there will be a problem and you start receiving a lot of calls. You understand? So they will understand those things and know what to do. So maybe if Madam can be writing or she will be writing, can do a small report to you on what they need to correct. Normally I charge for it. No wahala, sir. Okay. 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 Also, yeah. What is explaining is the structure of the place. That once the place is done, they are going to be having 2 gates. This place is temporary where they are putting garbage in. So once they are done, there's another gate that will be coming in. You understand? So you must ensure there's some exit and entrance. If there's only one place that leads into a place, it's a big problem. Like now, there's one client that wants to rent a residence apartment. One of our locations is in Banana Island. The person said he cannot go there because there's only one entrance, one exit in Banana Island. I don't know, most of us who have visited there, you will know. The same anything happens, what happens to us in that place. If you have the luxury of buying a yacht, you can actually take that and go your way. You understand? So you must have an entrance and exit. Then, as an FM, you must have a security guard that mounts this location. You can't just have it, or you put it on automation and say that it should work. Somebody can easily come in into the building, true or not? So a security company must come in. So what are the modalities? Modality security company. One, your budget. You know the security company before we have Capgemini, we have Anoji, we have there are many, but depending on the kind of client and the budget you have determined. Some of the security companies they charge very big, but none of them are the same. I'm telling you, it's only management that makes them different. Once you get a security in the fund, there's one now, I'm telling you, this one I just experienced it recently. With one of the luxurious apartments was insisting that he only want a company, a security company that have multinational as part of their brand. What are they looking at? That if you have some black people in their brand and they know some key people, some information might be leaking out to the public. So that is what they are concerned about. And something also happened on that side. I'm not calling name, but take note. There's a bracelet that was stolen by one gardener in the building. The only thing they discovered the security man, the person that was supposed to man the CCTV was not on site. Supervisor was sleeping. The guy came into the guy walked in the compound. He entered somebody and he stole. They say he stole the bracelet from about $20,000. So you understand? As I speak to you, the guy is in prison now. They told him he's in prison. When they told the mother that, okay, go and pay $1 million, and pay your tax, you can only raise $10,000. So, why I'm saying that, if you are are not careful, that incident alone can remove the client has written to us that the security company needs to be removed from that site. So you need to be careful when you are taking your security because your life is in their hands. Don't look at cheap costs. Look at the quality. If possible, ask for their profile. Yes, do some profiling on them, then you can take your decision from security. That is not part of our own activities at Ghana. Then, what other things do you know for security is needed? I'm already pointing at somebody. Security fence. You don't build a place like this and make the place bare. You must have a security wire. Some use this circular wire, but see another one there. This one has electricity. This and the two that touches it, you short and the person will. Then there's this. No, I'm only telling you, if you are starting your FM, you know this is a construction site. You're already practicing. So if you don't have, you take it there. I'm only using this one as a preference. What you do, if you don't have, or you have an screen, you can recommend for replacement. We have another one that is circular type. Okay. But if you must buy, there are two types. This other one is rusted. There are some that are galvanized. They are expensive, but it stays longer. And don't forget, on the other hand, we have acidic rain. Acidic rain can also affect the rate of pollution. So you must make plan either 1, 2, or 3 years to replace them. Please take note of that. Then generator. We just talk. Generator. You already know the hours for generator maintenance. Eh? There are two, either 200 or what? 250 hours. So what do? You see the exhaust. This exhaust, if it is not properly done, can give you a generator problem. It's like a picture. Can give you a problem. So why you must know? Sorry, you are cutting your way. Another one is getting the construction design, so you experience more of it. So your generator must be optimal. At 200, 250, you must service your generator. Then the question is, how do I know if it is 200 or 250? Can somebody give me an idea? Not all of them come with dashboard, and some that have dashboard is gone. So by managing, the dashboard has gone blank. So companies they don't get it. So you as an FM, how do you now take care? Manual how? So you need to have a phone. They don't take like to one time. You will not be writing. No, it's not accurate, but it will give you an idea where your maintenance is. So in maintaining, there are different strategies you can use for maintenance. Either you use in-house or use OEM, the original manufacturer. Their costs are very expensive, and sometimes they can give you problem. The part you bought this year, if you are going to ask them in 3 months' time, the price must have tripled, and your budget might not be able to fund it. So how do you handle it? So there's one company I worked with in the past. So what he does with them, he buys the material for maintenance ahead and stock them on site. So you only pay for labor when they come to site. So no strategy can reduce your cost as an FM. One of your duty as an FM is to reduce cost. If generator somebody is telling you to maintain generator for the entire year, you are going to spend close to 40, 50 million. It's too much. And your client, people are living in building. How do we do it? We have a building presently in Abuja. Sorry. We have a building in Abuja that the client has said that only him and together for the entire building. The system was designed in a way that all the systems in the building AC plus 100% on generator. How did they follow the budget? Because most of the service time that was supposed to go to each tenant is not coming directly to the landlord. Maybe when we go to a very quiet place, I will give you tips in order to save costs for yourself. Then you must do the negotiation. You know how to write SLA. SLA is another key thing you can use to hold them by the leg. Because if you have signed an SLA with them, even if the price increases, they cannot go back to you until you due for what renewal. But if you don't do this again, they can give you different price during the year. So those are the key things you need to look at as an FL. Then the diesel for your generator. What do you put out in diesel? For those of us that have time, eh? Density. How do you know the density? It's always 0 point. Is it the one you cram or the one you have done physically or plan? You need to do this thing practically so that you will know. You do it, you have done it. What of you? Okay? Okay? Diesel density, I will give you. You know firewood. I'm using local thing to explain so that you understand. You know for poultry, if you get dry, you set fire on it, what happens? It burns faster. So this company that sell diesel, they are white. They make money for making the diesel lighter. Any diesel that is 0.8 less burn faster. You will not know, but the volume remain the same. You buy a diesel of 10,000 liters. The same condition was exposed within a quarter. And the 10,000 liter work for the quarter. Then you now order for another one. You forgot to do the density. The person that brought it inside. Instead of it to stay 3 months, you now discover the diesel. 1.5 months, the diesel is finished. You now wait to pick your plan that you want to buy it. They will suspect you. That's why you see some facility manager outside. Because they were not managing well. Then, when you measure and you found that the diesel was less, you don't need that diesel. Tell them to take it back. That's why sometimes you must register with a recognized diesel supplier. They have financial muscle to swallow anything. But if you go to the wrong place, you have problem. So if it is, then another thing you can also do, when diesel is being poured into the diesel tank, you must deep. You know what they call deep? You must measure the level. I hope you are getting me. You must measure the level of the diesel. If you don't measure the level of the diesel, you might not be able to get the quantity being supplied. We have supplied diesel about last month, but they were supposed to bring 50,000 liters of diesel. 50,000 liters of diesel. When we dipped, we measured about 5,000 liters. So when you add 15 to 5,000 liters, how many liters are we supposed to have? 20,000 liters. But when we finally dipped at the end, we saw that the diesel was less with 300 liters. So this guy bringing those things, sometimes they wait on the road and pump a little out to sell to other people around the environment. You will not know until you dip. So you need to be careful. Then calibration of your diesel tank. Very, very important. You know calibration. So if you put a deep stick, usually aluminum, once you put it into your diesel, if the diesel is 5,000 liters and the diesel level is at 5,000, it should be able to give you 5,000 liters. If you dip in a 5,000 liters and you dip and you are getting 4,400 liters, then there's a problem with your deep stick. It will give you error. These are things you know. Let me use an example of you want to go and sew cloth. If the tailor doesn't measure your body well, what happens? He said that the cloth is too small or excessively big for your body. Then it becomes a problem for you. So first of all, you must do your calibration of your diesel tank. When you do your calibration, if you are bringing 10,000 liters, then you must dip at 10,000 liters. Don't dip immediately. When you pour diesel into your tank, it foams. Allow it to rest before you dip. If not, you will take the wrong record. And don't forget the last thing I will mention on diesel, you do diesel tank washing. Some of these diesel, you don't know the source where they are being brought from. Some come with small debts. So over time, they settle on the diesel. And when you put your diesel, you are taking diesel into your generator. Your installation should not put your diesel pipe to the lowest point in your tank. Because when your diesel is getting to that low, what happens? It's sucking that dirt into your generator. Then that can knock your engine. So you need to be careful. Diesel tank is done maybe once in a year. or it depends on the frequency of using. It could be twice in a year, but it needs to be washed. And when you are washing, you need to use professional people to wash it, because entering a diesel tank is a confined space. And you know what confined space is? Any restricted area that limits your movement, there's no light, there is no enough oxygen, is what they call confined space. It could be your ceiling in your house, it could be anywhere. Anything that gives those conditions is called a confined space. Please, I don't know if there's a question for the diesel maintenance.
You were talking about the
Exhaust.
the exhaust that is not properly
Yes.
configured or something.
Your exhaust must be taken out of the building first of all when you are installing. Here is construction. Normally, exhaust should go out of the building. Then the cover, when it's working, must open, must not be covered. Because if it's covered, some of the gas will be going back to the engine. Sooner or later, it will start getting overheat. And if you get overheat, it can damage your engine. We have that problem presently. Then let me also bring this to you. We bought one of our estates in Lekki. We bought a generator within 1 year. So the exhaust started having issues, though the clients are the ones that installed it. So in the reports that they were giving every month, because it's a key thing, they didn't mention that the diesel was giving report and oil was leaking out of the engine. Nobody mentioned it. So one of the occupants in that building took up that thing and sent it there. So there was an investigation done over the span of 3 months. And the estate now wrote to the company that you must change the generator. Just imagine generator you bought for 80 million. Somebody is now telling you, come and take it away because it's still within warranty. The oil was leaking. And what was the problem? It was the exhaust covered. So what they now did was to now revamp the exhaust. They do what they call, is it poking, they call it now, on the exhaust. They were able to correct it. And that problem have resolved. Do you understand? So as an FM, you must be particular about observation. If you don't observe, your death is closer than you know it. Because some company will attack you. Some company will attack you. Then when you are also installing your generator, create enough room for ventilation. Don't stop your generator because it generates heat needs to go out. Because if you stock it, it will overheat and it will be shutting down. And don't have one generator on site. If you have the privilege, minimum of 2, the maximum of any number, because it's the only backup we have. Then Madam was also talking about solar. Solar, for a building that is generating a lot of heat, you will need a lot of panels. One of our sites also, somewhere you know, Sterling Bank, we are the one maintaining the place. They install solar panel round. You know, when you install solar panel, you need to have a vertical at 45-degree exposure to light. What they did was to have solar panel around the entire building at what 180 degree on the building. It's only where the sun rises that the solar panel get light and pump. They were only able to save between 2 to 3% of the energy cost. They still went back to their generator. So what they are doing, what they are thinking of doing now is to use the entire car park for what? Their solar panel. But you can use them as hybrid. You can break down your power. All large energy consuming equipment should be transferred to your generator. Your lighting and everything should be transferred to your hybrid. You can save between 5 to 10%. Then you can use administrative procedure to further control. If light is not being used, put them off. You understand? Then you can use motion sensors also to further guide. Then if you go to building that have glasses, sometimes they don't put on the light. During the day, they just raise their, what do they call, window blind, then natural light come into the office. They are not paying for it. But they might be cost for your AC. Your AC cost might go up a little. So this is all I've explained here concerning generator. You know, I told you, you can use OEM and you can use in-house. And that in-house, you need to do recruitment rigorously to get the right person. If you get the wrong person, you also go back to the OEM at the end of the day. So question, before we move to the other section. So the density for 0.8 and above. Okay, the material use. Agrometer. Agrometer, yes. The question is this. Before, when a vendor, TV supplier, arrives at what time or what duration do they allow can wait between 10, 20, 30 minutes. Sorry, 20, 30 minutes rest. Because don't just come and start dipping immediately. You understand? But they must dip, take the one that is presently there. Then when their own rest, then you can now pour in. You understand? Then with that, you are secure. But anything less than 0.8, don't take the diesel because it burns what? Faster.
Sorry. Is there an equipment for
Yes. No, it's just a stick. It's a
regular
stick.
stick?
But it has to be calibrated. It's made of aluminium. They don't use iron because it will get rusted over time. Something like alloy, anything that cannot react to diesel. That is what they use. But most of the ones I've seen, they are aluminium calibrated. Just like your ruler. You see some line in them telling you this is 5,000 liter. And every deep sea differs. Don't use the next person deep sea because the shape of their tank and yours might be different. Don't use the same. The calibration is done with your own tank. Please. If there's no question, can we move? This one, Nigeria, they give us. So
generators are outside, and when it's on, the rain is falling. Water will be going. Is it okay?
no, you need to cover some of your generator. You need to. Some can be outside because they are going to be outside. They coat them. The painting might be very superior. Most of the generator are outside for areas where having challenges. You are welcome. You understand? But it's better to cover them. You have enough space, then you can rent your exhaust out of the building. And don't forget the last one I said. Silencer. There are some buildings that don't like noise. So you need to soundproof for your generator. Where is the soundproof control from? Usually what? I think it is from the exhaust. They control that soundproof. There are some compounds you go to, you will not hear sound of generator. But something is working. And there are some, it is from the middle of the road, the street, you will know that they put on their generator. The sound is so tense. And if you live in an apartment where you have they will write to Lagos State, they will come and shut your building down. So Silencer can reduce that sound to barest minimum.
So the density is
0.8 and above.
Some people say it's 0.83.
No, that's why I say and above. 0.8 is still okay. The higher the density, the more quality. So if we are done, can we proceed, please? Are we ready? We can go now. Okay, let's go some people use robots and some people use individual. Some of your technicians that are looking for quick money, they can worship, but it's risky. If they are not careful, they will inhale too much gas and make sure they are not asthmatic. They can die inside that place if they take too much. Can we go? We need to, madam wants to go inside.
This is like a model.
Yes, this is just if Target wants to come rest an apartment, this is what they showcase.
Okay.
So you see the buildings, beautiful. Service apartment. Maybe I will come and take one. You can come in, they want to put on the light. You can sit down now, you are tired. Right. So you can look around and you see the luxuriness in this apartment. So as an FM, you might be in charge of this building. You understand? What do you look at? in every FM, most FM taken in a residential place, they only handle only external areas. They don't come into the space. You understand? But there are conditions that you must come into the place. When you want to do repairs, you want to do fumigation, you understand? You might be forced to come in. Yes. So once the light is on, so we can speak more. Where is the other guy that came there?
He's coming.
Okay, he's dressing up. Does he know we are here? Yeah. Let's go. So you look around, I will ask question. You see the curtain, you see the AC, you see the standard installation for the AC, the space up, then the discharge down, then you see another AC here. I talked about the distribution of AC in the class. If you leave only this AC without this, the people here might be starved or cooling. So that's why distribution matters a lot. Your standing fan at home is designed in a way to go this side, then go. The essence of that design is what? Is for distribution. So that is a key thing in a place. AC alone, if ACs are not effective, the person here can move out of the building. Because if they are paying so much and you are giving them so little services, they will move out. Then when you build this luxurious apartment, you see the doors, you can control whatever happens. I don't know the kind of installation, maybe Nonso may explain that one more. Your door has card or keys? Code. You see, those ones are code you use to gain access in. There are some that uses your eyeball to come in. They are presently in Nigeria. Because if you want to give a taste of luxury to your building, this is what you do to further increase the rent to the building. So you look around, the AC installation. How is the maintenance of this going to be done? Can somebody explain to me? Yes.
So first you get something to cover the room.
You get?
Like something to cover the roof places to avoid dirt on the wall.
Okay.
So we take out the
Filter.
the filter, then we can pour water in to filter the old dirt out.
Yes, but not every time you necessarily do that water because this wall is white. There's no how careful you are, you will stain the wall. And once you stain the wall, painting that part of the wall, you will deface the entire place. So most of the time, an environment that is clean is only the filter you might be obliged to remove. When you now see that the filter was blocked and some of the dirt have moved into the evaporator, then it's when that water comes up. You get my point? Your radiator, you don't wash it every time. Your car radiator, it works similar to this. You don't wash it every time, but once in a while, what do? You use what do they call that one? Pressure washing machine to blow it out. If you live in an environment that your vehicle enters into dirty waters, because once the water drains out, what happens? It just so those are the things you blow out. Then the other thing you also do is where the outdoor unit is installed. You need to check the quality of what? The connection. If it is installed on the ground floor, you need to raise it above the floor, hanging on the wall. Don't allow rodent to have access to electric cables because they can eat up your electric cables. Because if food dey this he don't come round, they see say this place fine. Na not dey give am food, e go chop cable. And if you chop cable, you go make sure say una dey feel hot inside. So you need to guide that. Then this is Panasonic, right? Yeah. This Panasonic is one of the best in the market also. You understand? But they are expensive also. Then one other thing you can do, apart from using this, you can also use VRF. There are some building VRF is used. Then how do you charge for this particular place on service charge? In general, when you are doing budgeting for FM, how do you not charge for this place? Can somebody give us an idea? If you want to charge service charge, who has an idea? Who is an FM here? Okay, you be FM. Well, you ahead now, you now. Oh, yeah, talk.
Then on the square meter.
So how do you get it together? I just want to ship that in. If you are raising your budget, you will get quotation from all the vendor, everything here, you leave them out. Oh, leave 20 million. This back maintenance 5 million. This one 6 million. You divide it. Then calculate the square meter of the entire space. Divide it. You will not get close, maybe 50,000 meter square. So if you now have, if it's 50,000 naira per meter square, if the person now have close to about 100 meters square, you can multiply and say, sir, your money is 100 and something million. There are some buildings that pay very big charges in dollars, very luxurious apartment. There are some that pay service charge close to 10 million, so 5 million, depending on the quality of the apartment. You understand? You can get that out from your budget, even from your lease. So if you now don't want split unit, there are some apartment you go, they don't have splits. They use VRF. And there are some they don't have VRF, they have central system. That is chiller combined with ASU. Chiller system have enough space. They occupy too much space. Now, in a building, maybe God has blessed this Malga when they laugh there. So God don't give her maybe 1 point something billion. You understand? He now build an apartment like this. What you are looking at for is how to maximize profits. True or false? You don't build house and say you now want to bring one chiller system that will occupy the entire space. It doesn't make sense. You maximize the use of the space you have so that you can get enough. You will not understand better now when you become a facility manager in a mall. The mall in Nigeria presently are experiencing a lot of heat because operational cost is going up. Looking at AC, lift, and the rest, they are going up. So what they are doing, they sell per meter space. You see one lady in the mall is occupying just one small space in the mall. She's doing her business. She's paying for it. Some very small space, but she's paying big money for it because you want to utilize the entire space. That is why some of them cancel using a central system. Take note of that. Split unit and VRF are mostly the best. And when you are installing them, where do you put them? On the roof. And in doing that, what do? The structural integrity of your building need to accommodate for the weight that is coming on top. And if it's not strong enough, you put them on ground floor. And if the building is too high, you need to break them in pieces. The tallest building in the world is what? Burj what? You know it in Dubai. It's the tallest. Now I ask you, if you employ as a facility manager there, how do you maintain the asset in that place? The ACI is in, so you cannot put something on the roof, neither can you feel because it's a 100-story building. So what they did is to break them in patches. Do you understand? So they might raise 10-story building. In the 11th floor, they will create a mechanical room where the ACs outdoor will be installed, then that one will supply. They will go another 10-story building until they get the entire building solved. Then there was an article I also wrote because I read about it. How does water get to that place? Can somebody answer? There's no one pump that can pump water. Do you know the headroom of every building? The standard headroom is 2.7. Then you can now leave space. Those of us that are using ceiling at all, you leave a headroom there. You will not understand because I've been into construction. We went to a site somewhere in, I've forgotten the name of that place. We were supposed to design for them. We never knew that the beam that they designed in the ceiling headroom was so narrow, and they dropped the beam down, and we selected a cassette unit. The day they now remove all those things, we have to redesign another unit for them because the ducted unit now need to go under this thing to go out. So when you now come into the building, you will see the ugly nature of that design. You will look as if your head will hit it. It's not a good design. So we have to change the design to cassette. So you understand? So that one for the tallest building. So what they do is that they have pump in different stages in the building. The tallest building in the world. They will pump water here into a tank. Another pump will pick it, pump into another one. Another one will pick it until they get up into the building. But there's a technology presently now that you can remove water from air. I think Israel they were the one that designed it. So you can have a machine, you can extract a whole full, you know, this is your can for water dispenser. You can extract water from it, that volume that you can drink. And it's the cleanest water you can ever get. So those are the things you do as a facility manager when you go in. then your lift will be a challenge for you. If your lift is not working well, it can also affect this. We've been in a building, water canister, I don't want to come in, the person is a luxurious person too. He's an old man. The lift had issues. Cannot use the staircase. All the children have to call us that what are we doing concerning the lift? They cannot carry it. We have to ensure that the lift is working optimally. Somebody must come every week from the lift company to check because the man is an old man. He had a blood pressure at one time. They paid money and put the man to good use. And we cannot afford that the man will be in the building and through our own asset, the man will die in that building. So those are the things you need to be careful of. You understand? Then the lifts were okay. Then if the lift is not okay, as an FM, you must have a backup company that also know about that building because anything can happen in the building. You understand? So we get that. I don't know if they have a gym here. There must be a gym because every luxurious apartment must have a gym. You don't expect somebody that is very wealthy affording this place to be running around the street. Some of them go to the gym, some can afford to go, but majorly you provide a gym. It also adds value to your property. And that gym is well maintained. I know of a real building they don't maintain. If you don't have it as a plan, make sure you have it. The gym is used for almost 3 years. They've not maintained it well. So all the equipment are presently shutting down. So they want to revamp the equipment back to life. No matter what, the little oil they put in a moving part can save the life of that thing over time. Then the question you might also ask again is that how do we have internet supply to a building? Internet supply, DSTV, is a key thing in a building, true or false? So how do we have it in a building? If you go to our normal area, mainland, you see everybody having dish everywhere in the building. Here, how is that going to be controlled? Can somebody give you an idea? I'm not talking about your system, I'm only using it as an example. I want you to talk. Okay, okay. But I will still ask you questions. You must say something to me.
You have the ISP.
ISP.
So the facilities
Yeah.
are being in the room and
Okay.
should be channeled to
You will give channel. That is from one single point, you can distribute to the entire place, but there might be a problem.
So now, all apartments, they have their own rack where they stop there and they have, kind of like maybe a router or something that feeds those apartments.
Your system is the best, but there's a problem. What is the problem? Sometimes some residents refuse to pay service charge. Others are paying, some are not paying. How do you now pay the vendor that is responsible for the ISP? Sorry, I'm going local. If you go to areas like Odingbombo, the name is funny, Shangisha, Ikoludu, and the rest. What happened in those locations? You see a community, they don't have a meter. NEPA will just come and bring 300,000 to them. Oh yeah, you now distribute the money. That was, I don't get money, I don't get. At the end of the day, only one person is paying. How can only him pay 300,000? And if the money is not complete, we never give them light. So it becomes an issue in a luxury apartment how to collect service charge. Because if there's no fund, you cannot run the building. But there's a method you can do. What you can do, your vendor in your SLA, you can do a 30 days payment period or 60 days. I've seen a company do 90 days payment period. So during that 3 months, you'll be able to recover money to pay what? Your service charge. And because there's an SLA that says you will do 30 days payment, no vendor will come and disturb your life. You can use that to pay because not everybody, somebody that has money today, tomorrow they might tell you they don't have. Please don't cut my light, don't cut anything. I don't like. If I have, I will give. It's a big problem because you might not be able to recover. Some of our facility, we are still trying to recover money for 2024 presently. And if we tell, and they are key people, the owner of our company and the person that refused to pay, their friends. If you cut off light supply, and that is the only thing you can get their attention, they will report you as an FM. So you get, so recovering money might be an issue for this. Then your internet, the ISP is the best method to get everybody involved, so that one source will not allow people to start installing their own personal dish. If not, they will deface the entire building. Because I can't tell you not to watch your DSTV. So you get, then internet services also follow that same pattern. Then one other thing you learn, if you pay for the whole full year for DSTV, what happened? They always give 1 month free. I don't know if they still do that because they have a great competition now. Do you know that DSTV has great competition now? Who knows? Who knows? Hey, who knows? No, internet TV. Internet TV is a great competition to DSTV presently because what you watch there, once you stream online, you can watch live every of those things. Just pay subscription to these people, which is cheaper than DSTV. Netflix, all kinds of things you can watch. Do you have access? Yes, YouTube, you watch till mama calls. So you understand, you enjoy. That is what most luxurious companies are now going into. Some still give provision because there are some of us that we still love our Al Jazeera, CNN, and the rest direct. You can watch Al Jazeera live online. You can watch CNN live online. All of them have their channel. And while they are doing that, they are making money from YouTube. Like this one, now if you show it live online, there are some dollars that will enter their account. True of us. So you see, a lot of people are making money online. You might want to tap into that. So if there are options for you to introduce it, if it is not presently available, please introduce it in your building. It's an added what? Value. So what have I not spoken about? Your restroom, you must make sure there are some building. They have how many restrooms? Only one? They will have one up. Okay, one for okay, there's one. So the design here. So the design here is that this restroom you're having here, any visitor that come here, this is the privilege he has to go in. Then if you are part of the family, maybe grandma, grandparents, you have access to the ones in the roof. So if you are an ordinary visitor, you can't go up. That is how it is being designed. There are some buildings, the restroom are even outside the house. And there's a BQ for drivers or cleaner because sometimes driver doesn't stay with the boss. They stay in the BQ. So that provision is made for them. So yes, so that is where they say because if Oga want to call, he doesn't want to call the driver and say, Bakari, where are you? Oga, traffic day, I don't feel they come. You understand? Problem don't they come. So they prefer them to stay with them. They cannot go home on Fridays. So this thing might not be important, but there are strategy for you to run an effective FM in a building. Then here, for cleaning, what do you do here? If you are given privilege to clean the whole place, what do we do to the tile?
Find out what kind of tiles it is first.
Yeah.
Then get the appropriate
cleaning chemicals. Because if you don't, you just say because you're a newcomer, you just put any chemicals on top of the tiles, you destroy the tiles, problem don't come for you. You know, you can't just remove only one. And some of the tiles, if I believe it is important, for you to get another one of this, it becomes a problem. If I was in charge, what my Indian man once told me that when you are buying any consumable, always buy 10% excess of that material. And it saves us from one installation we are supposed to do in Chess Limited. We are supposed to use 60 something fan core units. The guy now bought about 70. So when we are installing, during commissioning, one of the units now had issues. It was because we had 2 or 3 left. We just pick out of that one. You don't need to order again. Because if it order, it takes about 2 months or 3 for it to arrive, unless you want to use freight, which is very expensive to come. There's one 80 years we have to change. They don't have it in Nigeria for one of my side. It was being ordered from Europe. Because of this war, since last December, it has not arrived. The man said they had to divert to Egypt. Well, I hope it will bring it ending of this month, that the thing is on its way coming because they use. I told him next time we will have used freight to bring the thing into Nigeria. So you must be consistent about what you want in your FM. FM is about knowing your body. When you wake up, you brush your teeth, you bath. That is what FM is about. When you come in the morning, you must go around, check what could be a problem. Then the competency of your team also determine your success. If you don't have competent people, no matter how good as you are as an FM, you will be a failure. Somebody that will just come, Oga, see this thing, do they make clean as small? As they clean and they break the TV for one corner. Wahala don't come for you. No matter how experienced you are, they will give you problem. check their competency, check their profile, check what don't they employ because they are sister, brother. If you must put them on the same job, train them or let them learn. When they get to that level, they can take decision. If not, they will spoil a lot of things. What other things? For your rug, you do what? Vacuuming. For here, you can do deep cleaning. Because if it is a high traffic area, you start seeing stain on the tiles. So if you do periodic, maybe every 3 months or once in 6 months, you can actually keep the quality of these tiles for a long time. Then for your rug, you might use some small vacuuming for this. Very, very essential for you. Please remind me, is there any other thing we are leaving out? This is beautiful. I don't feel like it. Indoor plants. Indoor plants. What is the value of indoor plants? I mentioned it in class. Oxygen. Some, if I've been to some building, they use ordinary plastic plant. It makes it fine, but indoor plant that produces oxygen, the one that produces the best oxygen, you know the name. I've also mentioned it. Is it mother or snake? There is snake, they call it. They say most snake. The thing look tall, yellow at the edge, then green in the middle. They call it snake plant. They say it generates a lot of oxygen. So why do you need oxygen in the space? Why do we need oxygen in space? Because we need it to survive. So if you lock this place for a long time, what does human being do? I can't write here. I feel like writing something, but I can't write. So you know this energy equation: 66H12, 66H12O6. There is an energy equation. Yeah, you are an engineer. You don't say that. Sorry, I will write it out. Can I write it big? See, 66H12O6. This is the relationship between human and plant. So this one now, what does it do? It reacts with what? With oxygen. This is the glucose that you eat. Eba, shawarma, rice, yam, potato, amala, and the rest. This is the energy it gives to you. So when you eat, your nose take what? Oxygen in. So that oxygen, when it reacts, what is the byproduct? There's what? Water that come in form of pee or sweating. Then there's carbon dioxide. There's solid waste. Then energy. Then for plants, what do you gain here? How is this thing formed? This food is coming for plants. Plant also need energy. That is what they call photosynthesis. So they also need energy that come from the sun for this reaction to produce this. Then from us, we will eject this carbon dioxide out, this thing out. So when we inject the carbon dioxide out, we take in what? The oxygen that the plant produce indoor. That's why plant indoor keep the room fresh, not just for beautification. I've gone to some building that you have plant everywhere. Those people are always healthy because they breathe in good air. Lagos does not have good air. We might be the most luxurious state in the entire, but we don't have good air. Because one, you have all the largest number of cars can be found in Lagos State. And each of them pump out carbon dioxide into the air, acidic rain. Please see, take note of that. Sure, you understand what I'm trying to plant. That's why you need plant indoors. What is this? Thank you. So, is there any other thing I'm missing out? Your lighting. Your lighting, you can have security lighting. That is emergency lighting. If the light goes, there should be an emergency lighting. That is a perfect design. Because if it is late night, people will not be able to see their way. Then, sign, we've not talked about fire. We've not seen fire extinguisher. Okay, since they are just showing people, probably they've not installed or they are stocking them somewhere. Fire extinguisher, you've seen one when you were coming. There is?
There was one downstairs.
In the kitchen, Abi?
But if there is inside this apartment,
it should be in the kitchen. Okay. So, apart from the kitchen, in the lobbies, the walkway, they always drop one fire extinguisher and you must know how to use it. Then every building must have what they call fire drill. How many of us have done fire drill in the building before? Have you done fire drill? I've done multiple number of fire drills. Fire drills is important, and it's also a requirement from Lagos State Fire Service You can't have this kind of luxurious apartment and without having fire drill. Fire drill is creating awareness on what people will do in case of fire. So what they do is that you create a false alarm. People will go, what is happening? What is happening? They must know when fire comes, they must leave the building. Go straight to your muster point. Then they will now address everybody. This is a false alarm. And if it is a real fire, they will call either the Lagos State, or if you can, it's a fire you can put out, your guys can put it out. Beside your generator, they must have fire extinguisher, and that fire extinguisher are always 50 kg. The one you have in the resident DCP or CO2, they are either 9 kg or 5 kg, smaller one. Then your car has that small one that you have inside your car. If you don't have it, problem can happen at all times. And we know the formula to use fire extinguisher, do we? Is it pull?
Okay. Pull, push.
Pull or push?
It's pull.
Oh yeah. P is what? Pull is
It's
what?
pull, push.
Yes.
Yes,
No, I'm talking about
pull,
squeeze. Squeeze
No,
is squeeze.
no, in.
In. Okay, pass is pass.
In.
It's in. Squeeze.
Then squeeze. Then spread. Spread.
It's pass.
You spray down, not the surface.
That's why
No, you look at it, you aim at the source of the fire. There was a fire that happened in front of my office. A coaster got burnt. It was my company that rescued the situation before Lagos State came. It happened early this year. So we have enough power in this thing. So we had to extend the host got to that location. So when they powered this thing, we were able to pull out the fire, because when the fire started, the man started panicking. He ran out of the coaster. The coaster started little. Before you know, the fire spread to the entire car. So when we are about pulling out, then this person came. If you don't have any question, we can take our leave. We've not talked about electrical. How electrical? Do you know electrical equipment are also maintained? Do you know electrical equipment are also maintained? What are the things you need to check in electrical? Your earthing system, your lightning system. There are some walls, you go to some building, you touch their wall, it will shock. There are some, you touch anything iron, it will shock. You understand? Then you test some socket. You test the 3 squares around, you see that power is reading in all. That connection is not correct. So the essence is that once power is generated, it needs to be distributed by each floor. And if it's distributed by each floor, it needs to be sent to each what? Apartment. Very, very urgent. Then how do you charge? If I want to charge, how do I charge? I charge everything here that use electricity with the meter you have installed. And I've advised, if you want to use Durameter. Durameter, one to measure the local power supply, then the other is to measure the diesel. If you buy only one, you will struggle with knowing the rate of power, the local power, then the one for diesel. Then you have your guys carrying register every time to start writing. If that is not properly done, it gives you what? A lot of what? Problem. So these are key things you look at. If you have practiced FM, you will enjoy FM. You will seriously enjoy. FM is very sweet. It's risky if you are working. That's why you need to have a mentor. Have somebody you can always call if you have issues. There are some people that have reached out to me, both now and abroad. I know after I finished a training, somebody called me, one of our students, I don't think you were here then, called me from either Bahrain or Saudi Arabia. He joined online to thank me for the training. There are some I've also helped, you understand? But if we want to take it beyond that, we know what we can do for that. Our own is that our students should be the best in the FM. Coming to Max-Migold, you will learn and you will enjoy facility management. You will not fail in your side if you open up. I talked about SLA. Nobody have asked me what SLA is. You know how to draft policy. You know how to draft a contract. These are things you must know. This is not something that I have to be doing with class. Every client you are bringing in to work in your building, you must drive an SLA with them. That SLA, once signed by both parties, is a legal document you can use to argue in court. I give you an example now so that you understand the nitty-gritty. There's a company we're bringing in, the SLA for security. they told us that if some of their staff does not come to site, we have the obligation to withdraw the amount from their monthly pay. They say we can't do that, we need to pay them, then they will investigate, then probably later we can now withdraw the amount. We say no. Sure, you understand? If you don't use SLA to correct all those things, you will enter problem. Then the other one is that if there's anything that has to do with theft, if the theft goes beyond a certain amount of money, that they will not be obliged to pay, that they will pay a portion of the theft their own staff created, that the client or we handle the excess of what their staff created.
So in such a situation, what does one do? Because when we went back and forth, in the facility, the security company put all of those clauses in.
You change them. That is the solution. Bring in another company that will comply with your SLA. When we are having meeting with them, at a point I have to tell them, we are the one bringing you in. We are the one that will be paying you. Are you telling us what we want to do? Somebody coming into your house, you told him to clean only this place. He said, madam, not only this place. I go clean everywhere. Yeah, and you go pay me. Not be waiting, I tell you. Clean only this place alone. So that is what the SLA map out. If those things are not clear, there are serious issues you will engage in on site. Serious issue. You will not know now until you get to that management level where you seeing things happening live. So we protect ourselves. Even beyond that, what my companies also do profiling of companies. We don't just bring, there's a company that is very big in Nigeria. When we did their profiling, they were not worthy to be brought on site. We have written back to the client, we are not using them, we are using somebody else. So you need to be very critical about, because when issue comes, it becomes a problem for you. There was one that wanted to lease some of our properties. So they never knew. There was this case that had to do with people collecting money for estate. They never paid the person. The person took the money and ran away. The people was an affiliate to that company. Because they did not pass our risk and compliance test, we did not bring them on board. EFCC called my company to come and judge that there's a business we did that our name was mentioned, that will come and mention the relationship between them. He said that we actually had a business with them, but it was not concluded, so we let them go. They say we can go. Because if you don't do your profiling, they will commit that crime and make you a problem. You understand? So you need to check. Because there was a time too in water currency when I was managing. There were some clients finding it difficult to bring clients in. They brought some Yahoo boys that stays inside a very big luxurious place. They knew police cannot come in there. These boys were paying 150,000 every day. Small boys. And every night they will be partnering and be disturbing the big guys that run Lagos State in that place. So all of them came together, they were angry. They will come and bring girls that are micro, mini, and the rest. Which at a point, the security, they wanted to exchange blow with security, because if somebody have entered and paid, they need to enjoy the services of that place. Do you understand? I'm telling you this because this is what I've experienced. I can tell you we can't carry book. One other thing you also need to check. I went to a factory. I've never dealt with snake in my entire life. There was snake infestation in that factory somewhere in Ikorodu. That is Kimberly Clark. This is a new thing that I've not been exposed. I only know about insect, cockroaches, and the common one we know. That black thing will get tail now. Rat now. Plus they look. Rat. That is what I know. When snake own came, it was terrible. So there was a day I had a very bad experience. Somebody said he saw snake in the place where they were storing their products. And information went to the boss. They shut down production. They lose millions for that. They say we must find the snake. I had to carry stick with my team. We were looking for the snake. And the place is so massive. So you understand? We could not get the snake. I told them there was no snake. Probably the guy saw one dangling cable on the floor and they thought it was a snake. They say lie until they kill the snake before they will start producing. They had to call one man from Meduguri. That man was using juju to look for snake. So when he finally saw the snake, he saw snake that has different color. Because from history, I know the snake you can see in those areas is either green or black. But where did you see the man use magic for that? They paid him for it. And the company, they were comfortable and they went back to work. So why I'm saying this is that you might be exposed to different things on site. You understand? So that will help you. Then we've not talked about water treatment plants. We've not talked about sewage treatment plant. Then we've not talked about what? One of the challenges you have with plumbing system is what? Sorry, I'm going to mention this female. When female has their period, some of them end up putting this in there. And there's a building, a luxurious building that we went to. In that building, the sewage machine had issues. When we check, it was condom. The condom is more than 1,000. How are they using that condom in that building? I don't know. But the thing went into the machine and destroyed the machine. So what I told the facility manager is to look at this thing, do a report and send to the client. Because if you don't do it, they see it as a poor service from the FM company. So that becomes a problem. It's another job that could have been, because I tried to research it, because Nigerians are spiritual. Because when you now say you want to take up a company to kill hard, being used by female, some people, if they are not making it in life, you understand, they will say that your company, you know, Nigeria is very keen spiritually. And I'm saying this, sorry, I'm being open, I'm not offending it. I hope I'm not offending it. I'm saying it as it is. I've met a guy somewhere in Aroton where we work in Escravo, Chevron. The guy put juju for body. So when I came back in the evening, he came to ask me that who arranged this bed, because Chevron has people that arrange bed for you before you go wash your clothes. I said, I don't know. He said, if na woman, he no go sleep there. So I was now asking some people I know. They say the guy probably put juju for body. Say this woman period, they affect the juju. Anywhere in the world, go and ask. That's why when you go to Niger Delta, they teach you secrets wey not the FM. When you go to Niger Delta, you go see soldier, they use one red thing in front of their gun. They don't shoot ordinary, they shoot with that thing. I don't know if they use it to touch it. They say once you touch that thing, they shoot, that their medicine will fail. Because there was a fight between Shekiri and the Jaws, and they almost eliminated the whole Jaws. All the Shekiri don't get faith, drop their Bible, all of them go cook themselves. Only one or two person for the whole Aruton not cook themselves because they wanted to fight the Jaws. So what Chevron now did, FM, you can learn it, is that they have different locations. They have a location in Ijo that is Chevron. They have location that is Shekiri, which that is Chevron. So what they did is to move all Ijo to Ijo location, all Shekiri to a Shekiri location, and that stopped the problem. And we used to enter speedboats from Warri about 4-5 hours on the road before we get to that location. When they saw that militancy was getting too much, Chevron asked how much will it cost to fly everybody into that place. They started paying for flight. I know I enter aero a multiple number of times when we were going offshore with my dad back then. Do you understand? They use that to control the security issue that could affect people's life. Then food management, I also learned about those tricks when I went to KC2. When you are doing food within a company, there's a place you must design under the wash basin, what they call a fat trap. What is the essence of fat trap? Fat trap can also block your drain. You know, oil, when it congeals, it's formed solid, so it can block. And the people that install in that place, they run a whole pipe almost 30 meters. There was no break, so there was a blockage somewhere. We have, after the factory is running, we have to be looking, digging ground to be looking for where the pipe passed. Do you know what we now discover? The pipe that should have been connected somewhere, the guy did not connect it. They just pour sand on it. That's why when you are installing, you must be careful to check critical thing. One small thing can spoil the entire building. You must check, do a checklist, and commit your vendor to do a lot of things. Please, if we have questions, we can ask. Do we have water treatment plants? Sewage is not ready yet. But you have an idea of what sewage is and water treatment plant. Who can run us through the water treatment plants in 1 minute? How do we get water without fetching water? Nice name. I'm going to write the article today. I'm going to write the article on LinkedIn. You can join me on my LinkedIn page. You see me. I write a lot of articles for FM just to make sure you guys have. I have a newsletter. Odibo, ODIBO. Then this series. So you will learn a lot from that place. Those that are coming in FM. I have a newsletter I post on FM. I speak a little about politics also, a little. You will see them. You just want to write, just Google it. Then, madam, I can send the link to you on WhatsApp. Then, water treatment plan. What do you do? Getting water to the surface in 1 minute. Please get it. First of all, you need to drill to the deepest part of the ground. Sometimes it will be 50 meters. Sometimes it will be 100 meters. Sometimes it will be 150 meters. But you must get to the aquifer where water is being produced. Then after you've done that, you use a borehole pump. And that borehole pump, you must be careful when you are doing it. In a luxurious apartment, you should do 2, but most people have 1. Doing 2, if you are not careful, you can collapse the entire place. You understand? Because a lot of people have dug so many boreholes here. And when you are digging borehole, make sure you are not close to the next neighbor's sewage. Because sewage can also seep into your water, and that can cause health issue for you guys. So once the water gets up, where is the first stage? Where the water gets to? Water gets into where? Aeration tank. Water coming from ground are usually very colorless. Then when it gets to the aeration tank is addition of oxygen into that water. So you will see one pipe going up and dropping inside a bigger tank. So what are you doing there? You are forcing the water to react with the air. Then it will now form, there's iron in that water. Despite it is transparent but miscible, it can mix easily. So when that happens, you will now create a reaction to form iron oxide. That iron oxide is that reddish thing that you guys see around water plants, that iron content. So that iron content, once it goes in there, it now goes into what they call filtration meter. I've also told you about this in class. The Lord, those that don't worship God, if you read FM deeply, you will praise the work of God. And I will explain to you in a very simple way how water is treated. First of all, when rain falls, what color of water do we see on the surface? When rain fall outside, the flood water, you see, what is the color? Any color, now it can be anyone. So don't be afraid. Oh yeah. It could be brown. You are enjoying our class, so you don't pay money. You're supposed to pay. It could be brown, it could be black. But somehow, when you dig a well, what happens? The water becomes colorless. Something has happened. The earth is a filtration meter. So that one you have in your office are various stages of sand. So when you now pump the water that passed through the aeration tank into that one, what happens is that it filters all the dirt out of it. Then you now see a transparent water, colorless water coming out. But you are not done yet. You now have to put chemical to them. Chlorine. What do we use chlorine for? To kill microorganisms that are what? In the water. Then the next one is what? Soda ash. Some side use alum. But before you take note of that, before you start doing your water treatment plan, take water sample, do analysis, and that analysis will give you an idea of the kind of water plant you are going to design. People that design in this location might be different for Balade or Lagos Island. Take note. Not every water around the area is the same. In some part of Ikorodu, water is good. Some part, water is not good at all. You can't use it to wash clothes. It's not okay. You understand? And if it's not okay, you might be at the mercy using the water only to flush or do some basic things, but not for consumption. Please, you need to be careful. It's only people that have money, they use what they call reverse osmosis to clean up water. That will clean water 100%, but can you afford it? So after you have done that, what next do you do? They are working with the other side. After you have done that, what do you do? The water is clean. What next do we do? Somebody tell me, the water is clean, what do we do? You need to store the water. Some sites have what they call underground tank, while some have overhead tank. Why do we have an overhead tank? It's the cheapest way of installing because you just need pump to pump it up once. But if you have underground water tank, you need pump every time to be pumping the water up. But for overhead tank, once the water get there, the rest fall due to what? Gravity. Please, I've explained water treatment plant. Please, you understand it. Then there's a company that maintains it. Then what you also know, in Lagos State, if they come in, you must have water done, well, your water test done for a residential place every month and keep the record. Every month you must have it done.
Every month.
Yes, that is the standard. But some don't follow it. Some once every quarter, because water can actually have issues. Every month is official way.
The treated water or the raw?
The treated, you can do raw water, treated water. You know why you do the two? For the raw water and the treated water, this is the condition of the water. When you now pass it through treatment, did they actually solve the problem you are intending to solve? And don't forget, your swimming pool is not different from what? From your water treatment plant. But you need to take a step further for your swimming pool. Because the water is on outdoor, the chlorine must be more than the one you are drinking. Because if it's not more, germs will start living inside the water because most times they are stagnant. There are some people that also find a way or make sure the water is bubbling. If you have the technology, fine. If you don't have, the water will remain stagnant. You'll be surprised mosquito will stay on top of it. I've gone to a place somewhere around Palomo where when they don't use their water swimming pool. The swimming pool is dirty, so mosquito lay eggs on it. So in as much as you are having it, you must take care of it. Get a reputable company, it's an OEM thing. You can't get an individual to do it. If you have a person that knows about it, then fine. If you don't know, it becomes a problem. What are the problems water treatment plant develop? Your pump can fail. You might have clean water, you cannot pump. Then it can fail. You must have a backup water supply. Then in your panel, you must have over voltage installed in it, then a breaker. Because when the pump is having issue, the voltage, the current always go up. So that panel should be able to trip off and don't burn the pump. Because if it work, it will work till it gets bad. Then for your borehole, when you are installing, you must tie a small rope, strong rope in the borehole. Because if you don't tie, your pump fail, that pump will go into the earth and you have lost it for life. Then you must also make provision for buying of water. We have an issue by you must be technically as a facility manager, you must be technically advanced, so you must know calculation. Those people, in my own site, the facility manager reports to me, so he made a mistake. What was the mistake? They were washing a whole tank of a building that was running. And by the time they finish in the morning, they hope that the tanker was supposed to bring water, the man fails to bring water. So they could not pump water. In the building, there's an hospital carrying out a surgical operation. There was no water. They called me severally. The Lebanese guy was saying, you know what is happening? I have to start calling the vendor. What, please, anything you can do, get water into the building. There was water, but the water need to get to a particular level where you have a pipe before you start pumping it up. But that is what we want to ensure because they cannot achieve that. Because when you wash tank, first of all, what is the size of your tank on site? The team they do not know. We have to start doing mathematics for them. If you have 10 meter cube of water, what is that telling you? I want to ask question. I also catch you people. 10 meter cube. You got it. You got it. Normally, if they tell you the size of your tank is 10 meter cube, that is not 10. That meter cube, you need to convert it to 1,000. 1 meter cube equals 1,000 liters. So that 10 multiplied by 1,000, I'm telling you, your capacity of your tank is 10,000 liters. So when you are now doing your maintenance, you need to calculate the flow rate of your pump to which it can pump into that thing so that you can meet up to the time before you start pumping. Those calculations were not done. That's why that lapses came up. So I'm telling you in case you are in that. So like I said, we will form a structure where we can always reach out to each other. But if you want more training, I charge for it. You understand? But I will give you a full as you want. I also train your team. We say that it's only FM that they don't train their team. Once the Oga and some other people go for training, they leave the cleaners, leave the technician and the rest. How do you want your building to be good? Because if you leave them like that, they don't learn new things. As I'm speaking to you, there are a lot of new things that are around. Do you know there's an equipment to detect water leakage inside the wall? But most facility don't know. They still use the old method. Okay, be like say like this place, e break, not be there. E break until he break the entire place. Yet he has not seen any. You understand? There was one they locked inside. Say you will go buy these ties. You don't break my ties. In America, if they locked him inside the house. So you understand? You don't use assumption, so you need some certain things to get. And what did they use? If water is leaking, it produces sound. There's this thing doctor uses to test your heartbeat. You understand? So they designed that thing in that nature so that when you plug it to the wall, you start hearing that hissing sound. That's it. And most of the time, it has always been accurate. So you understand? So is there any other thing we are leaving at? I understand. We'll talk about it. Okay, is there any other thing? If we are done.
Sorry, conceal.
What?
Conceal.
Okay.
Is there a time frame for the service?
Let me see.
Sorry.
The WC, the conceal.
Yeah, this one doesn't consume too much water. You understand? That's why they brought this type of design, and it's fixed to the wall. So most of the pipe runs through that particular place. So the fear I have, if the pipe are properly installed, where is the also? If the pipe are properly installed, if they want to do maintenance, how do we do maintenance here? If there's a leakage in the wall and we're noticing leakage. Okay, it's from outside. There's a place where we can go and work. So he has asked a question. If there's no question, probably we'll go outside. I've exhausted everything for today. Then we'll talk more if you have questions downstairs. Error. So do we have any other thing? If we don't have, can we go downstairs? Then we'll ask all our questions there. Thank you very much. If you have, also you know, they are Igbos. No, okay, now Christian. I like local name. Somebody dropped the bag.
It's my bag. Thank you. Yes, thank you. No, you will not see any. And those 30 class are up and down. Um,
Yeah. Okay. Then I have something to cover it.
So it's easy for not inside the wall.
Okay.
It's easy for maintenance to say,
To have access to
yes,
it.
so you can
Okay.
open the covering, do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, more like a mechanical room. So around the wall. You can talk about it. You know treadmill now. You have treadmill. Which other one do you have?
are we going to the gym? Just think.
Farm? We will check the facility office. Oh yeah.
Okay, without nobody scaffolds for
Yeah, I understand. That one will be at the very finishing of the program, because I can explain to them what it is. I don't need to go back.
you have a shower call, but then
I know, that one, what happening around you because the more you go, you can track a lot of things when you are going.
So again, even in the water injection,
That means your water treatment. If it's not standard, it's not drinkable, just washing, drinking. The one that even from a shallow. That was standard installation. There are few places that I know Globe has reverse osmosis they use to clean their water. But even at that, some people are going to do once they get shallow.
yeah, well, most people still tend to use maybe pure water.
Yeah, but we don't know the source of that water. But the feel more comfortable when you mention shallow people are always yes. So you don't mention.
Pure water is part of the Voyager. I think it's not like
If you use standard water treatment system, then fine. There's a number of them too around. They use shallow for and the water is clean, but they don't do it.
again,
I know they
for this for sewage, do you suggest all these sewage plants or all these?
They have this container. There's a container. I don't know the size of what to do, but there's a container that you have various stages of it. What is important is that the air point of water, what is poured out, it should not affect the environment.
I'll let you. You know, all this normal traditional survey,
Yeah.
I think it's the best. Because like that, now, they change that machine almost every time. You know,
It fails.
it fails.
I also mentioned because there are some lot of things that can clog the pump and make it fail.
You know,
So-
but you know, normal survey, ways around all these things and
No, you can use the normal. Not that the problem with the old traditional structure is they get filled on time. So you need to be evacuated. So it depends on the size and the volume. I saw the WC is doesn't it doesn't use too much water. So it might take a longer time to evacuate. So if you have paper and different that can be controlled. But if you are not using that method, there are some certain things I mentioned. I don't want to mention. I have to use login, human part. The guy is using the other day to actually block the thing. So those are the issues that you have. For whichever system is okay. But once you have a professional team inside, there's no worry.
those are the things that could actually miss.
No, there's no worry. But if you have professional team, no matter the system you have
But sometimes we not be getting for upload service, having a plumber on site at least maybe 3 times a week, and like someone to maintain, and it just be maybe lifts and I mean,
no, for lift, it's always OEM. Always OEM because you don't have individual. If you bring in an individual, they tamper with the meter, they know they will not come here. They say they are defying their contract. So you use OEM for that. They come every month, and if they have issues, you push it back to them. Therefore, plumber, depending on the frequency, if they have a resident here, they can stay. You can bring people working in 1 week, in 1 week off. Then if the load increases, you can have a standby person you can come for a short time work and you can go. Not for them to stay. Because the more they stay, they can also be a problem in their place. They will be looking for something to steal. So it becomes a problem for you.
How long is this example? Let's say what is the Dennis, the person in
that's Eniola.
yeah, that's the
Okay.
so
She
that's
look
the
different with the helmet.
No, I've never even seen that before.
Okay.
oh really? Yeah.
So if we go there, if there are told Madam, if there are other things I've seen, I will do it short.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay. Okay, this is shorter.
Before the back road.
This collector, right?
Please be careful, there's an open.
Sorry. They have storage. This one to don't come down.
Sorry.
Okay. See, for what you have shown me, here is a standard office. Not every resident has space for office for FM. So they have provision for FM, they have provision for drivers, and they have provision for cleaners. So in that cleaner, what I was asking is if they have storage. Because one other thing again is that if cleaner does not have storage, what happens to your mom? They will hang it where people will see it. And it will mess up the entire building. And some of them look like that hair. You know, something you bought it at white. They look at that. There's a frequency for replacement. If you don't replace, they will look like human hair. You think somebody is hiding there at night. So if you don't create storage, they will hang everything around you. Then you said yes, where they will park. Office for the facility too. So yes, they have. Yeah. No, it's part of the plan. So if you have that, so it depends on the fact. If the facility things are well installed, you might not need people to pass the line. But if it needs, there are some clients that around 10, then you might need to change your plan to include people that will stay 1 week in, 1 week off. For technicians, then electrical is another critical thing. Then HVAC, you might want to pick HVAC, but HVAC can have one person go through and a review. For fire, it is OEM. Swimming pool, OEM. Lift, OEM. Water treatment plant. There are some individuals that are very good in water. To get those guys are difficult. But if you cannot use OEM, OEM might bill you more, but if you can get the good guy, then you are free. Seaway treatment plant, you might not, your plumber does that. The plumber also treats seaway because everything has to do with pipe. You understand? Then what other work again? HSE. If it's not a big site, so the FM can also assume the role of HSE. Then for that, they must have what they call first aid box on site. They must be trained how to administer. Do something that, so that's why they don't allow drugs. They only use something that can use to treat temporarily before you take them to the hospital. But little things, say person break hand, he fell down, his hand, you must have a way of keeping them alive to take them to the hospital. Then ensure your team must have their PPEs. I've seen technicians working on site with their bare hands. Some their hands have been cut. You must have PPE. What are the basic PPE that they need? I want to hear from you. Now you answer go
Helmet,
hand glove. No, you don't mention one. You don't mention two. Helmet, hand glove, madam. Safety shoe. Very. Then what again? Google. Google. They need to have their Google if they are not all the time you need it, but when you are working. Then what other thing again? Reflective to identify yourself. Overall, if you are going to do dirty job, there's something we are missing also. Ear mouth. For those guys working in the generator room, so they must use something to block their head going into the generator room. Then tools that FM are needed, technician needs. They need what? A ladder. Because when you have site like this, you must have ladder. And there's type of ladder. The long type, A ladder, then this A ladder, and then this other one you can lean on.
harness belt.
harness belt for those that will climb. Then what other tools? They need tester, screwdriver, pliers, spanners, Allen keys. Which other one again? Signage. Yes, I did talk about signages. Here, you will need signages. You need to restrict people going into unauthorized area. You see some of your technicians after this place come live, where they put generator, where it's making noise, they will go and sleep there. Some of them you see carton on the floor with pillow. Some will even dry their clothes inside that generator room. So you must reduce from there because clothes can cause fire. You understand? So you need to warn them. So for how do you do that? You ensure that they have enough uniform they can replace with not one uniform. If they have one uniform, that's when you see at night or during the day they will start hanging those ones. You will already see some that they are hanging already. So you understand? It's not proper. Then housekeeping need to be done. You need to tell them this small thing can keep person on the side. Tell them to always clean that side. It's not your duty, but you need to tell your vendor. There was a day they came to supply this with my side. The guy messed up the whole place with us. I told the security to lock the gate. He would not go out until he's clean. He had to send one of his boys to go and buy omo and soap to wash the place. When will you have done better? When you know that your work is going to mess up the floor, get a carton or a nylon, put on the floor. When you are done, you just remove. You don't need to clean. But the guy messed up the entire place. Then he said he wants to buy it. Housekeeping is for among facility managers, and they don't care. And there's what I call I was here. You know what they call I was here? If a technician want to work, they will put their star, madam, I come here today. So you understand? It's not supposed to be. You know why? You know why? He can defend the entire building. Then when they now say, oh God, you need to paint, the guy now come to bring one paint he bought from the other place. He now paint this place. The whole white now look so terrible because the man have to now spend money to paint the entire space. So be careful when they are working, not to touch physical things. If not, the cost of repainting will be more. The maintenance, I've not really because the work is still on a particular stage. Something fell down. Is it the drilling machine? Okay, the extension. So you understand. So that is the general thing we have. Is it there's a portion for where they say gently, gently. Make it drag out. There's a place where people can stand for all the floor. Very standard. Very standard. Very standard. Because most technicians we have issues with security. If there's no place for them to
thing is, they said they're going to clap the building. Won't that cover that?
This is part of. Is it not part of the plan?
Huh? No, I said I've seen the actual.
The AC will be exposed. So there's a portion they will leave out for the AC. Even for the AC, there's a way you open. Don't open too big. You understand? If there's a hole that leads into the place, there's this foam-like material. I don't know the name they call it. Cello? Yes, you can use to block it. Why? If rat find a way there, it will have access to it. So you get, they can cover any hole. Then the person that is commissioning it, let them give you paper for all the AC that is fully commissioned and they are under the right pressure. Because sometimes there's no oxygen much. You will feel the AC. It is when you now go in, you now start having it. So maybe when the project goes to the starting point, if my life can come in, I can do the work. So we are done with major thing unless you have questions.
My question is on the water treatment thing. You say something that to get personnel, maybe you decide to go for in-house.
In-house is the cheapest.
Who says to get personnel in that aspect is not common?
It's not common because most of them come from that industry, but they pull out. So they now start working with people.
So I'm asking if there is a place one can go for a real practical training for.
You can't know it all. You cannot know it all. That's why it's like you say you want to go for training for lift. You cannot know everything because there are different kind of lift. Like the water treatment, there are different types. You know, I may mention something that before you do your design, You need to know the kind of water you have. It is that one that will determine your design. There are some water that, like my number one water carrying thing that I work, we don't use alum. Anytime you use alum, it destroys the water. So we only use soda ash and chlorine. And there are some sites here on the island they need alum. Sure you understand? So the quality of water you bring from the land is your design. So there are different for different things. So the easiest way is the OEM. But if you don't have them, if you are good enough to get an experienced person, then fine. Because what the person, their responsibility also is to do backwashing. I believe you know backwashing. When the filter media are taking so much iron content, it's so brown that no matter the level of cleaning that you have, that brown color will still be coming into the building. So you need to reverse the process of pumping water into the building and reverse the water out of the filter media and remove the brownish color and pump out. That is what they call. I do that every day, and you need somebody that have the experience. Because you might treat the water after 1 week is brown. And what happens? See the beautiful toilet you see. When you open it, you start seeing some brownish thing, and it defeats the value of the building. You bring somebody to rent. The last time seeing those brownish things, you will not add value to it. No matter the amount you cost, no, I can't do it. Until you get that done. If you are doing a luxurious apartment for people, give it the luxury that the name deserves. Everything must be clean. Please, I think I've exhausted. Thank you. Okay, right. For yeah, chamberless you can have, but you must use a form to sort it out. You know, like I say, if there are blockage along the way, there will be a problem. Chamberless is the best. But if the thing is not flowing due to gravity to where it should be connected, it becomes a problem for you. It might be good for small residential apartment, but for a high-rise building like this, it might be a problem. You get? Because when you have chamber sometimes, you might take it out. Unless they have technology that can any blockage into pieces, into water, then they can move in the chamber. If not, the blockage becomes the problem. If there's a blockage and designing the chamber, how do you get access to it? To the pipe. And you know that this is the blockage because when you do that, you not start seeing solid outside the eye, which eye normally should not see. Do you understand? I hope we are done. Thank you very much. God bless.
I have a question here. Okay. Trying to give descriptions around trying to give description around the education
Yeah.
but how about where people tend to complain about meter reading that I don't have anything connected, I don't have this plans in my room, in my house, I don't think something
Power charging for electrical this thing is a problem in the building. You understand? Because we always divided into two folds. The common areas are billed with your service charge. You understand? But what you consume from your building can be charged either through local power supply or diesel or backup generator. So you understand? That's why I recommend you do that. So you can take your reading there. You will not pay based on your consumption. But for common areas, it's part of your service charge.
you don't get what I'm saying, sir. I'm talking about residential. This just probably is the individual space. The individual space, the tenant that you occupy, you don't give me a complete that I only have these appliances in the house. How am I supposed to calculate this kilowatts in a specific period of time? That I'm not even going around for many weeks. I just go back and then I give you that every house is just about 200
Do
kilowatts.
they have a meter?
Yes, there's a
There's a
meter.
meter.
Yes, sir.
And the meter was calculated by KC.
Calculated. It's a third party.
So what some people do, they will bring in their own meter and wash it for you. Things like that are arising like this. Normally it is what the meter brings out to the child. You understand? Some people sometimes they say no, that you can't do that. This your meter is reading fast, so you are billing me more. So what you can do, you can get their own third party and install either in parallel with this one to get whether they are reading the same way. sometimes what they've done, your meter can actually be reading fast. That's why we need standard people authorized by the local authority to install. Once that is installed, it removes this essence of your overbilling. And don't forget, it might own those things down when it's not at home and the thing is reading. You know, I was discussing when we did energy audit. When my staff, our office is not open, we are getting more energy used in the building than on Monday that we have full house. So we are still investigating whether somebody is tapping off our power supply. So you can use another third party or maybe the vendor if it's not too comfortable. Let him bring another vendor come and check. That is the way. If not, I will give you what I see in my meter. Because every other person had the same meter, they don't complain. Why is yours different?
And the thing is, can also affect it.
Eh?
This can also affect it.
No, nothing can affect unless somebody can tamper with meter. Yes. I don't think so. I don't think anything can affect. Anything is not something that is done regularly. If you don't plug anything to the meter is not real. It can make you affect it very well. It's not just me alone. Anything has to do with even lighting and everything. The man is complaining of billing, too much billing. It's not at home and they are bringing big bill.
Yeah, and the only person
Yeah,
on that meter.
and the appliance is just little. And what they are bringing is too much. You will have it in residential apartment. Most especially some of them that don't have anything. They will look for way to frustrate you. So some might be mischievous tenants. We have people like that. So what you do, route your comment through the estate team. If you have residents in that place that have a committee, route those requests through them. Because if all of them are not complaining and they are the only one complaining, there's a problem with that. Because the same meter is installed in everywhere. How come you are the complaining?
So someone has already this one. So it's left for them to carry out a kind of audit now. All the ones that
The best method is to have a dryer, a machine that dries clothes, a wash and dry. It's not something you can solve. It's part of our culture. Even when some people have the machine, they will just dry out. They say that so they throw the dry, but the machine where the polish of the clothes. Please let's go down. Then I believe there will be mosquito net also. Okay, going down. Please, you need to put a plank here. This thing is a dead trap. Oh. You know this is a plank. Just put a plank to block that place. Up to that this place. Don't say they're not the station for here. They're worker. If they're not still road, they still say that more located, the best spec.
custom assault.
And
Yeah, but now you have to be careful on this iron.
Yes, sir.
Let me see one. This iron, not step on the cable. Gently, gently.
It's crazy. I not believe the probably looking at the whole Amadi that. But there's no way you get the whole Amadi.
They're burying money here.
My father stepped on it and all that. And the area I said, man, I was surprised that
Okay, so you pump now, right? Okay, you know what you can do now. So far, so good. We've done this from the team. Send water or try the space in that very one start. That process will go. Let's see if the problem are from the function. Do you understand? Oh, yeah, now send water go up so that the process will start. Let's see if from that point. All right, I'll call you back in the next meeting.
Sorry, do you have any idea of the costing for the journey? Yes. Did I get your WhatsApp number? Sure, you can. You know the picture you told me about. I don't even that's not far from my house. Stay, I thought you you're not good. Oh. I'll bring her and come by myself. No best. No. Do you want to share with me?
Okay, correct. Okay, I'll call you, Parisha.
So presently we have 5% discount. Let me just give you my number. Tell me which one. I'll choose the one I can afford because if I come to physical class, many people will be feeding me. Yeah.
What's the relationship of this place?
For now, I don't think there's a particular name like that.
Okay, so should write a project or something. Must find the name of the project.
I have 2 kids already. Taco. See, I'm blushing. 084. 5. 6. Rashida. 6. Sorry, I'm sure.
Like every minute. That's really nice.
That's okay. Okay, that one, maybe I can come. I don't know what my schedule will be.
Okay. Please, I want to run to. You just ask a question. How can we do service charge? Okay, mommy. You talk. How do you charge service charge? Okay. Bring out your Bible. You do calculation. The space under consideration is about 5,500 meters square. So you do the calculation, then you will have them and you will now charge. Are we ready? The space under after you calculated the lettable space in the building, there's lettable space. Lettable space is place you will pay for, like common space and so the entire lettable space 5,500 meters square. An assumption. Yes, the 5,500. Annual lease maintenance is about 10 million. AC maintenance 8.5 million. Be writing it down. You will total it and I will give you all the service charge. Lift maintenance 10 million. Yes.
AC
AC 8.5.
plumbing.
Plumbing, it depends on the strategy you want to use. Do you want to employ somebody or you want to give it out? If you want to employ person, two things you will need. Either you employ the person, then you buy in tools and consumables. You get the logic. If you want to use a company, you don't need to buy tools. The person comes with person with the tools. So which one are we using? Should we just assume we are using OEM for the sake of this calculation?
OEM.
So let us assume it is about around 7.8 billion. Assumption annually, that is annual cost. Everything is annual for plumbing. Have I done water treatment? 80, AC 8.5. 7.8. Water treatment system. Just be right. This is just a practice.
Random figure.
For water treatment system, let us assume 12 million. Sewage treatment about maybe 9 million. Security service, with all the things that will guide this place, let's say about 15 million annually because we'll go there gradually. Electrical maintenance that involve high voltage, low voltage, all your security apparatus, panels, lighting arrestors, earthing system, everything around 9.2 million. Electrical, including panel, transformer, low voltage panel, high voltage panel, lighting arrestors, earth system. So 9.2 million, 9.2
maintenance.
Yeah, for maintenance, that is annual. Then which other thing are we looking at? Then your FMT. So what structure of FMT do you need? I can assume for here you might need a facility manager, a facility assistant, then cleaning is separate. A supervisor, you might need an handyman. Why do you need handyman? The person should know carpentry a little. Then little bit of AC, little bit of plumbing of everything, so that if one is going on leave, this guy can take over. I'm writing down the structure, you are not writing. You are supposed to write down the structure so you can find what is useful for yourself. If you don't need handyman, you can now employ one person for electrical, one person for plumber, one person for AC. What is the scope of the site? Are they running 24 hours? If they are running 24 hours, you now have two each of those people. But I'm only telling you the breakdown. For let's say for FM cost, let's say it is about 18 million. FM cost is about 18 million. I'm supposed to pay this part, not this part of the cabo. Sorry, this is not good. Let's say all the cash flow. So that is the thing. Which other thing have we left out? We talked about security. Yes. Generator maintenance is separate from power. Then there are some things that are capex and there are things that are opex. Opex are usually in your PPM. Capex are projects outside your budget. Like maybe you want to replace lift after 10 years of use, it's capex. So those costs are always separated from your main budget. Overhauling, because it's not something you can build. Because it's when you want to do it, you will get the cost.
That one is capex.
Capex. OPEX is operational expenditure. Please get the two difference. No, for generator maintenance, that one is fixed to its budget. Let us assume generator around 11.5. 11.5. Then
Waste management.
Waste management, normal, it's always government. Here, averagely is between 700 1 point something million every month, depending on the thing they are moving out of your building. Let us assume 500,000. If you say 500,000 times 12, that will be 6 million for waste disposal every year. Which other thing have we not for waste disposal? Which other thing have we not considered? Okay, fire.
Land discharge.
Fire. fire system, maintenance for the year, certification and the rest. Let's put about 9.1.
Land use charge.
Land use charge. Like for land use charge. No, that land use charge. Sometimes it's always landlord responsibility.
Situation, for instance, now let's take this building for instance. It is not going to be with the landlord again because each individual is a land person. They are buying it. They are not renting
yes,
the space.
Okay, each person will buy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Find the space, you not be one thing.
Yeah.
So it's going to be
No,
like
Lagos State will come with one land use charge. So what she's not
just
saying, you
one land
cannot
use charge.
put
For
it
instance, now we're going to be having pets
in your
occupants in this
budget.
building. It is not where I'm renting an apartment. It is I am buying an apartment. Do you understand? So it is going to be under that service charge. We
So
have
you
to share it
understand?
for
So
everybody.
you know that everybody owns the property. So they all share the responsibility of paying. Because Lagos they see them as one people. So
Land
they
use
just issue.
signage,
Yeah.
land use signage, the sewage maintenance.
Sometimes they ask for parking also.
Yes,
External
that is
parking.
if you park outside.
External parking. But those ones are a lump sum. But it now varies per application. Do you understand? So let us assume that it is part of this building. So if land use charge is around maybe 3.5, then that's
Okay,
as an
assumption.
assumption. There's another one you also mentioned.
Then signage.
Signage.
Yes, then there's
There's this
TV and
this
radio, TV and the radio levy.
levy.
That one is the local government.
Local government are charged for that. So let us assume each of that one, let's say 500,000 for that radio and this thing. Then signage, let's say it's about 2.5. So what you have noticed now, this is how we do the breakdown. So I want to give you how you now narrow it down to their charges. Then there is something I also teach. So let somebody add everything together. So the total divided by the total lettable space will give you the average charge per meter square. I'm thinking at the point. So somebody should calculate. Those that are fast calculating. Then divide by the total lettable space. When I say lettable space, all the space for each of the occupants, that is 5,000. One person cannot stay 5,500 meters square. So add it together, then divide it by this, you will get the full. So what did you get? Some sites that I know, they are both for years, and there's an some 500, some 800, some little that you can see maybe 80 million, 50 million, depending on the size of it. This is an assumption. You have to divide how much per meter square. Sir? HVAC. Good. I will just stop at that. So if you can do it at home and add to it, I just want to happen. So what did you get per meter square? Meter. That is 22,009 meters square. That is what you are charging. Then there's an issue. What is the issue? This thing, we had this issue in one of the buildings. The people doing the calculation, they always share the same service charge to all the buildings, not considering those that have 2 bedroom and 3 bedroom. Those that have 3 bedroom, you will now multiply this by their own area, so they are paying more. Those that have 2 bedroom, they are paying less. You see, so after you calculate that, you can now do your invoicing for the 3 bedroom flat and send to them. So all your total amount must add up to give you the total budget for the year. And you as an FM, one other tactics you can use. This is is a top secret. I'm not supposed to reveal it. So what you can do is that once you have a budget, you have the power to negotiate with the vendor coming in. So if somebody is to do the lead for 11 million, say, okay, please get another vendor that can do it for us around 10 million. Can you remove 1 million so that we give you? So if the person agreed, you have already saved 1 million on that. Yes. And there are some services that might not take place that year. Probably client will not give you room to do it. That money is still there. So those money are part of the profit you might have for the year. So some side, the money will go back to each of the tenants. In what fraction? In this calculation you have done. Because if they are to pay service charge for the next year, you now divide the profit for 2025 alongside the meter square each of them are occupying. So if they are supposed to pay, like let us assume one of the room is 230. Let's assume so multiply 230 by this. Let's see the service charge. 230 each of the 2-bedroom apartment. Yes. So no. 5 million, 5,000. So you got 5.something million. That is the service charge. So what you can do again, in order not to sell yourself out of the market, you need to have a link with your whole FM around here. How much do they pay? Because if your building own is expensive, people will move out. You get it? So if it is within the range, you might be surprised yours might even be cheaper. And your building is the best around this area. There's something wrong with your calculation. You might want to up it a little to what they make around here. You understand? Because you need to have some money somewhere for projects. Anything can happen. Lagos State can come today and come and seal up your building. So you understand? All those money you kept somewhere is what we probably might use for offsetting any legal case that might be coming to your building. If it might have issue, nothing is not working. Please, maintenance. I don't get to this when I correct this. Maintenance is different from repairs. Stay that and let your clients get that understanding. Because your maintenance cost is fixed on your annual budget. Just imagine they now start using the number sign now went black. You now call the lead company come as this thing has 12, so we need to replace it because it's 3 point something million. You now foolishly now go and remove money from your budget. You have shot yourself on the place. Because as you have removed, you need budget for it and you are removing. There will be a time you will now need money. There's no money in your account. It's part of the project. It is repaired that is not part of it. So you need to communicate to the landlord. Sir, this is the problem we have. We need to replace because if people press the lift, they don't know whether the lift is coming or going. They only see the door open. So you understand? If you not create a business case, tell the client, I say, don't worry, I will. There's one ATS that had issue in my site. Immediately we quoted within 2 days, it's about 80 million. The client paid for it under 1 week. So that is the one I said, one has been repaired, the other one is coming into the say massive, you don't have that. If you have a client that have money, your life is easy. But if you have the one that don't have money, your nightmare have started. I have one somewhere in Apapa. We told them you need to do, the students are complaining that the water treatment is affecting their skin. The person say he doesn't have money to do maintenance. The vitamin need to be replaced. He said he does not have money. Now where will money come from? So I told the guy, write a bill, identify the benefit, identify the risk, push to the client. In case anything happen in the future, our name will be clear. Don't see things that can affect your role as an FM and you fold your hands and you are looking. The person you madam, that day you remember now, on the 1st of January, I tell you now, the woman that is trying to run away from expenses, you say I can't remember. And your guy now will be watching you. At a point, your guy will tell you to keep quiet. See me in the office later. When you see am for office, they'll say, go and see the HR. You have done something wrong. Email, you must be good in writing email. Your work is not just technical. You must be good in writing email. There are some email you will write, you will cause confusion in the building. So you must be careful There's one of our building too. We are maintaining along that also room. Lift was having issues. The FM there was very selective in sending mail because of the nature of people we want to send. Their directors of company. He was being careful. The landlord doesn't want to respond, but they want him, the facility man, to send mail to these people. So that when he now make mistake, the landlord will face him, the director will also face him. So he was careful. You know what I'm saying? Now what you did. So he had to send a mail he now put out to us in the end. He vet the mail, remove everywhere that an implicator, be neutral, and send the mail to them. Don't send any implicating and be very careful with talk. You must learn how your attitude as an FM must change because this is your livelihood. You cannot talk to your landlord, the person paying you salary, so that you forget things. I tell you last week, you go lose your job. Actually, the man might be forgetting things, but you don't need to tell him. You don't remind him he forget things. His wife can tell him, you will see it as normal thing. But you, a man, they tell him your wahala don start. Every other thing you do in that building is not correct. He will even be writing report, he will not copy you to your boss that they should replace you. There's a lady they sacked in my office. She was going to meet the client, playing with the client, the same client want to remove her. But the client will tell her, so don't worry, we'll talk to them, we'll talk to the same client that inside and sack letter. So when there are level of hierarchy of communication that you need to learn is key. All these assets you put together is cement, water, and sand. Your communication is what brings them together and make them the FM that we want it to be. If not, you'll be a failure. There's FM that started under 2-3 months, sack them. They don't know how to communicate, they cannot represent the client. The client, the landlord, the owner of the building was the one that was doing mistake. Instead of you to keep quiet, let him accept his mistake. You are saying, sir, you are the one at fault. For when people they do meeting. So you understand? The man will keep quiet. He knows he's the one at fault, but you should not come from your mouth. Please, these are critical things above the maintenance we came for that you must learn for you to be at the top. If you do this consistently, somebody somewhere will see you and say, please come and work for me. There are some secrets you must keep in terms of budget. There are some budgets that are illegal. There are a lot of things you will notice. The way Nigeria is being run, that is how you will work as an FM. As a governor, those are things are not okay, but you say they are okay. I'm telling you, if you have opportunity to talk to Mr. Paul, he will also tell you not everything that you feel is looking professional, you just say, there are some you just keep quiet. So we are looking into it. We'll get back to you. Yes. Can you give us time, sir? Yes, sir. Now you now responding and be emphatic on one English word will be the downfall of your. So thank you very much. You should what? For as a salary for FM. No, salary is directly proportional to the owner of the building. In my building, we have facility manager that are earning almost 1.6 million, and there are some that are earning 250,000, and there are some that are earning 300. It depends on your landlord because your office does not have direct impact on your pay. On the business, yes. Because if your salary would be increased, it is the landlord say, I like this benefit, so that 20% increase. He might tell you the country is bad, he is losing money, so no increase. And there's a contract we also sign presently that we sign 2 years contract. It's a reputable company, I don't want to call. So even when inflation comes, because we have signed 2 years contract, we cannot increase until we are allowed the 2 years. But the best place to work is to work with multinational if you have the privilege. If you have the privilege, but the privileges are very slim. The privileges are very slim. But there are some Nigerian companies that are very good. The very good are mentioned now depends on your leader and how you relate with them. There are some leaders, no matter how hard they are, the way you relate with them becomes okay. Because if you don't relate with them well, you can affect your performance. No matter how good you are, they will sack you. No matter how good you are, they will sack you. Because have good relationship with them. Wish them happy birthday, relate with them, all those things catches them. It might be minutes, but it goes a long way in their life. Now what they do for money, you must find a way to make it. I didn't laugh. I don't use that I take laugh to get it. So I want you to be laughing. But I like when I tell you, no, I don't want to. Please laugh. Please laugh. Please. No, you cannot let me everything now. Okay, with what you have observed in the past, okay. Just join me online. Join me on my LinkedIn. I've told you you see lot of my write up. Then you can reach out also. Then if you need training for your team, you can also reach out.
There's still room for you to be calling him for any.
Okay. There are plenty. There's one I wrote that I received more than 5,000 posts everywhere in the world on the duty you can do as a facility manager. Do you know you can work as an asset manager, HSE officer, operational manager, electrical manager, maintenance manager? Your work cut across a lot of things. You now need to now go deeper into the area you want to go to. You can also work as a property manager, an estate manager. There's nothing you cannot do as an FM because your work is multidisciplinary. If you learn lift, maintenance fully, you can also be a vendor to some companies. If you know and you can be a vendor. For HVAC, you can be a vendor. You can even be a supplier. You can say, okay, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be waking up. I have some goods. I have my friend somewhere in Bruno. He has plenty resources, so I have a link to it. I can supply you anything you want. Is it a consumable for plumbing? I have it. Is it refrigerant for your AC? I have it. Is it a paint material? I have it. Some that I know, they are not into effort, but they use people to get work done, but they provide the finance that they need. They not charge on the finance. You can start your company as an FM. You might not come in as an FM company. You might be a supplier. You might be a maintenance person. You understand? Look for one asset here that you are good. They major in it. They tell them this is what to do. Lighting arrestor, I can test it for you. And there's what they call PTA, portable test appliances. I did mention it when I was talking. You check the quality of electrical they are supplying to all your appliances in the building. You know, there are some appliances you go to the 13-volt circuit. You see that they are burning out. See, you understand? If you don't do that test, you won't be able to discover that. Your panel too need test. So if you're an electrical person, a facility person, you can start your company to do maintenance for electrical panels alone. And you'll be making money from it. You could also be a supplier of water. There are some buildings they will tell you they need 500 bottles of sewage water. You supply them, then you put your charges, transport and the rest. Some people have become millionaire being a supplier alone. They don't work. But if you are the type that don't have the capacity, start working, learn the experience, then after 5 years you can decide to start something. But make sure you have gathered people that love your work before you start. You might start, you don't get it. Some people feel selfish. You don't say electrical shocking. You don't answer me all the questions, please. This is another class, so you will tell Mr. Paul I'm going to take twice the amount. Oh yeah, go ahead. This should be the final. I'm really honored.
I'm sorry. Okay, so the last question I want to ask you is assets. We've been taught around it, and class actually asked this question in the virtual class. So I asked a question how do you register assets in a facility? Because like I stated, the open facility has 37
Sorry. Hope he didn't enjoy you.
Was going in the
Sorry. So it's only 37 years of seven years and all that. So you want to have 37 years.
So for that multi-talented environment, or like you have different persons in the building. Okay, so what you now do, you can marry each of the assets to the building. You will use a name code. Maybe you want to use name asset register for the room 001. Then you use a code for computer TV that you can print on a sticker. Then they used to write with something, but now you can print a sticker with those logos and stick behind it.
But we don't have access to inside.
If you don't have access, you can do the one in common areas. Common areas, the one that is under your control, actually. So for fire, you might want to use F with other numbers. F, then you might look for the location ground floor G. Then if it is on first floor, you might put F1. Then location fire extinguisher, you might want to put the whether it is 9 kg there or 5 kg, you might want to put it there. So that when you see the number, you say, this thing is in this location. Even if they carry heat from that place and put here, just see the number, see this thing is not supposed to be here, it's supposed to be there because of the asset number. You will generate your own assets number following standard practice. So you get it's not something we can discuss here, you understand? Maybe away from the you can send me an example of what you make and I can help us give you the code that you require. Like your AC has a number code. Those modern number you see on the AC and generator is to tell you what the AC is. The first code might tell you the make of the generator or the AC. The number might tell you the capacity of the AC. Then the number code might tell you the frequency to which the AC is designed, the environment to which the AC is designed, then the environment which the AC is put, the electrical cable that is supposed to be used, the refrigerant type that is supposed to be used. Everything will be in the code in form of numbers and letters. You will not know because me I know because I've selected chiller before. So not every equipment you bring from America can work in Nigeria. Most of our installers don't know that idea. There's what they call the temperate region. There are some material they build to withstand heat that comes to Africa. If you go and bring what stays in cold environment here, it will fail here. But most people don't know that. There are some generators you design, they have oil inside. If you now take the generator produce here to that place, a cold environment, before you start it, it will turn into on G. So I think I am done. This is the last question I'm holding my answer. You can see me have my number. If you don't have my number, I will give you. You have my number. All of you have my number. 080. Okay. 08037. You have okay. You have 391815. 18. So you can reach out, you can drop a message to me on WhatsApp Monday to Friday. If I'm busy, I don't pick, drop message on that same line on WhatsApp. 08037391815. 30 You can put engineer, please. I'm also a I only find people job in facility. You did write my number. You don't have a class. No. We must take a picture. Hey, madam, yeah, we'll take it. Madam.
Well, I don't with the platform.
I will use AI to do that. No. They will give you money. I'm really hungry. Seriously. My own has to be special.